Welcome to the first ever Backyard Bullies podcast. I'm your host Cam, here with my boy Pete. Pete, how you doing, man?
I'm doing all right, man. I've been a little under the weather, so if I am coughing during this pod, just excuse it, please.
It's all good, brother. I'm been a little down bad too. I think it must be a bug or something going around. But we're gonna go ahead and jump right into this thing. Unfortunately, as we all know, Kyrie a couple of days ago tore his ACL. For the Mavs, it's just been a nightmare season. So what do we think like going forward for the Mavs? Like what can they expect, and what maybe for Kyrie, like what should we expect from the Mavs organization going forward?
Man, I think the Mavs, they just need to go ahead and sit AD for the rest of the season and then try to
Hmm.
retool, run it back next year because, Kyrie's out for the rest of this season and some of next season. We don't know how much. We don't know
Hmm.
how speedy his recovery is going to be. We are praying for a speedy recovery for him. But we really don't know how much, how long it's going to take for him to come back. And another main point, they need to fire Nico.
No, no doubt, no doubt. I definitely agree with you, bro, with the whole Kyrie Mavs situation. Go ahead and shut AD down. I mean, Lively was already injured, Gafford was already injured. I think is really the season is dead, unfortunately. I would say Kyrie, man, I don't know, man. ACL injury, like I know Kendrick Perkins was saying that, he had an ACL injury, he came back, he was 100% and all that, but Kyrie is more his play style is more herky jerky. Do you think like, he's gonna come back 100% or is it like kind of,
Man,
he's a
I
little
sure hope
older.
so. I sure hope
Mm,
he comes back 100% because he still has a couple years left in the tank. He is a little older, but I've just seeing the last couple games, even not even the last, couple months, but just the last couple of games, he's been going crazy. He
yeah.
still he still got some youth left in him. And
No
Perk
doubt.
though, I will say Perk, all he had to do was stand on the block.
Yeah, yeah.
So his ACL and
Still,
Kyrie's ACL is not really the same thing.
definitely two definitely different players. Yeah, Perk. I mean, he did good in his role, but Kyrie is, he's the greatest ball handler ever for a reason. So
Yeah.
but coming out of the East and West, unfortunately the Mavs, they I mean, fortunately they made it there last year, but unfortunately they completely fell apart this year. I mean, who do you really have coming out of the West now, or did you ever have the Mavs go in, or?
So this year, just based off what I've been seeing, I didn't really have the Mavs going all the way to the championship,
Mm,
but I did have them in the playoffs fighting for the Western Conference championship. But now that essentially their season's over, I have the Thunder and the Nuggets
the,
going, one of them going to the championship.
The two MVPs, okay, battling, no doubt. Yeah, I think I got the Thunder. I think the Thunder are pretty locked in. What are they like 50 and 11 right now? And
Yeah,
then
it's something crazy like that.
yeah, they've been on a roll, man. But that's the thing though, they always manage to have good teams. That's what scared me. They had KD, Ibaka, Harden, Russ, PG. It's like, you
Melo,
know,
we had them all. I
Melo,
mean,
you know what I
I mean, I'm a
mean?
Thunder fan, so
Yeah, yeah,
I'm locked in. We had
yeah, yeah,
Sam
yeah.
Presti.
Victor Oladipo. I mean,
Yeah,
y'all had some nice squads, brother. Is it like,
Sam Presti, man. Sam Presti
yeah,
is one of the
he's
greatest
doing.
GMs in basketball, but we just
He really is.
the
He can only
players
do so
ain't doing
much.
what they supposed to
So,
do.
dude, nah, yeah, no doubt. So is that so much like just bad luck, or is it like I know they're super young now. Do you think even with the youth that they have, like normally they say that you got to lose a couple times, or if, the young guys they don't win it. Do they think you think they can win it all?
So with the young guys, man, we went last year. We lost to the Mavericks. How I don't know. I'm
Mhm.
gonna chalk that up to youth, and
Yeah,
then we're gonna say that they got all the playoff jitters out last season, and this season we're gonna do good. We're gonna do
yeah.
everything we need to do. Plus we got Caruso. I know it doesn't sound like a lot because Caruso is not really the best player in the league, but
Mm.
he's a great defensive presence, and on top of that, he has some like championship
Yeah, yeah, like yeah, oh yeah, because the pedigree, yeah,
experience.
because he won with the Lakers, yeah, no doubt. Yeah, I think my biggest thing, like I said, the youth with the Thunder. I think Chet is one of the reasons it's scaring me because remember the first season he got injured, playing with the pro am with Braun, and then last
Mm.
year was kind of his first full season, so he had that one full season under his belt, and then this season he gets injured. So in reality, he's almost like he's really only played what like a year and a half maybe of,
Yeah,
of NBA basketball.
maybe.
You know what I mean? So it's going to be interesting to see how deeper in the playoffs how he plays. Considering he hasn't even played that much of the regular season. I think coming out of the West, I think I'm gonna go with Thunder like you said, and then I think the Lakers, man. I think the Lakers can definitely make a push. I'm a big Laker fan. Goat James, Braun all day, and I think with the addition of Luca and the defense has just been rolling. Unfortunately, we still don't have a big, but hopefully we got some big wing perimeter defenders. Hopefully they can make up for it.
Yeah, I mean, and with the way that the team has been playing defense, And if they can keep the level of intensity and chemistry that they have going on the defensive end, I could see them having a legit chance to go farther
Hmm.
than per se the Thunder or the Nuggets. It's really up to like can they keep going
Yeah.
how they've been going.
Now let me ask you this. Now, is it so much? Is it like now Bron's? He's 40 years old, but he's been hooping. You know, basically as good as any 40-year-old has ever hooped. Is it LeBron's team or is it Luka's team?
Okay, so when the trade went down, all I kept hearing was this is the first time that Braun's gonna play with somebody who's better than him and all this and all that. But
Hmm.
even since Luka got there, with Luka being the primary ball handler, I feel like it's still solidified as Braun's team. He's in the clutch, he's playing the whole fourth quarter, whereas Luka's only coming out for the last 7 minutes.
Hmm.
Like when they need a big bucket, the Braun has the ball in his hands. So I can't say he gave it to Luka fully yet, but I feel
Hmm.
like that's where we're going. So in the
Hmm.
next season or two,
It'll
because
definitely
with
be.
yeah, it'll
Yeah.
definitely be Luka's team.
Now let me ask you. Now, do you think Braun maybe stepped up his game? Like, hold up, man. Everybody's saying, "Oh, Luka, it's Luka's team now." Hold up, wait. Now I'm still Braun. Or do you think it's so
Yeah,
much that
no,
he really thinks, or is it just it's coincidence that he's going crazy, last month or so? Or do you think he's like aware? He probably is aware, but do you think
he's definitely aware,
aware?
and I'm not
Yeah.
gonna say it's a coincidence. I definitely think
Is it?
they when everybody was saying, "Oh, Luka's better than Braun. This is Luka's team." As soon as he got there, Braun was like, hold on,
Mhm.
I'm finna have to go crazy."
Yeah, yeah, I think so too. Because I seen he just got like player of the month a week or something like that, and he hadn't got in like 5 years or something like that. So I think that's pretty crazy. But
Yeah.
for the East, who you got coming out of the East, man?
For the East, I have, of course, the Cavaliers. They're number one seed. I don't necessarily know how they're gonna continue to do what they do in the playoffs because they did the same thing last year. But
Mm.
I kind of have to trust them. They're 52
Yeah, like
and
50,
10
yeah,
or yeah,
some
something
crazy
like that.
stat like that. Yeah.
And then I got Boston coming out as well.
Boston. Okay, yeah, I'm definitely. I mean, I'm a Laker fan, but I got this is a Kyrie Celtic jersey, by the way. Everybody, praying for Kyrie for a speedy recovery. Big Kyrie fan, but I definitely think Boston is coming out, and then Cleveland, man. The thing that scares me about Cleveland is they've always had the same personnel. Now they acquired DeAndre Hunter, who's a really good player, but I just like, man, they always had these guys. Well, all of a sudden
Yeah.
now, is it, they turning up. That's what's
Yeah.
scaring me. So I don't know if it's just maybe everybody's gotten better, a year older, their game has more developed, but like they've always had this. It's not like they acquired a big piece in the offseason or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
they've had the
why
same personnel for the past 3, 4 seasons.
yeah, so I'm like that's kind of why I'm on the fence.
The only thing that I could say is, Evan Mobley, he was a rookie and then
Hmm.
developing, so he's getting more developed, and they're getting their chemistry is finally, we know DG's gonna do this and Donovan Mitchell's gonna do this, so we kind of know everybody in their play style.
Hmm. Now do the Bucks have a chance at all, or is it kind of, you know,
Man, the Bucks, man, I don't have them coming out of the East. I do have a dark horse team coming out of the East, and it's the Knicks,
okay.
because with the
Knicks,
addition
yeah.
of Cat, and they still have Brunson, they still have
Mm.
a lot of their key role
Mikael,
players.
OG. Hmm.
Yeah, they still have a lot of their key role players. So with Cat, I feel like they could, make some noise in the playoffs. It's definitely not a team that you want to play.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I would say I think the Knicks though, man, they've been doing pretty bad versus like the better teams. I don't think they beat Boston this year. They just lost to the Lakers. So the Knicks, man, I think like you said, they have the personnel, but hopefully they can, figure it out. Hopefully they can get, Mitchell Robinson can come back, be a healthy center, play that 5 spot so Cat can, play more of his true position at the 4. I will say with the Bucks though is that with Giannis, like it's kind of like anything is possible because I think anytime Giannis steps on the floor, maybe other than when Jokic is on the floor, he's the best player on the court.
Yeah, yeah,
So I think, and it's kind of like the old saying, like, well, the team with the best player, anything is
yeah.
possible. Like
Always
any
has a
definitely
chance. Yeah,
is,
yeah,
yeah. So that's my only takeaway. I think they can maybe it, but yeah, I definitely think I think the Knicks are one
yeah.
of the teams to look out for. Now, my bad, y'all, my bad. So with the Warriors and the acquiring of Jimmy Butler and Draymond saying, "Oh, we're definitely going to win the chip this year." Like, is there anything there, or do we really think that you know?
Man, Draymond, I don't know what to say about Draymond. It's not happening.
Mm,
It's plain and simple. It's not happening. Now, since they got Jimmy Butler, they have been doing a lot better. I want to say they won like 9 out of their last 10 or 11 games recently.
mm,
So they have, excuse me, guys. So they have been doing better. But I just, I don't see Jimmy Butler being the reason that they get over the hump, over the Nuggets or the Thunder or
mm.
the Lakers or anything like that. Like, there's 3 or 4 teams that I can guarantee aren't gonna
Yeah,
lose to the
beat
Warriors.
that. Yeah, I think the Warriors now, like they kind of have a chance where they maybe could beat, anybody on any given night, but I don't know about in a 7 game series, like
Yeah,
they probably could beat the Thunder, Curry gets hot, Jimmy gets going, they could probably beat Thunder in one or 2 games, but I couldn't see them really beating the Thunder in a 7 game series. I think Jimmy definitely adds like he's kind of like they never really quite had a player like Jimmy because KD is almost like a 7 foot Stephen Curry in a way. Like he can shoot the three. He can,
yeah,
he shoots, gets to the rack. He can do everything. He can do everything. And Jimmy is more like a grimy, gritty, like, get down, get to the foul
yeah,
line.
yeah,
Like his game is just he's like he's not great at one thing, but he's good at everything. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. Jack of all trades
Yeah,
for
jack of
sure.
all trades. So I think, and
Um,
I didn't really know how he was gonna fit in with the whole like because he's not really the greatest 3 point shooter. But I mean,
yeah,
he seemed like he's really an underrated passer, and I think he's the kind of guy like he'll do whatever it takes for the he'll do whatever it takes for the team.
yeah. And I mean, they had Andrew Wiggins,
Mm-hmm.
who was supposed to be doing what Jimmy Butler was brought in to do,
Hmm.
and now that Jimmy's
Yeah,
there, they're doing what the plan was, and
that's
they're
true.
looking a
That's
lot
true.
better.
Now, do you think going forward, like they don't win it this year, is there anything like could they maybe get like Laurie Markin's been out there that about maybe going to the Warriors? Do you think they need some more pieces, or like, or is it
Yeah.
done for the Warriors organization as far as the Curry era?
I mean, I'm not gonna say the Curry era is over because we don't know how much longer Curry's gonna play. I mean, just like
Hmm.
Braun's 40. We don't,
Hmm.
now everybody can't be LeBron. That's not the new standard because
Yeah,
that's just
that's a one-off
unrealistic.
kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's unrealistic. But we don't know how much longer Curry's gonna play. So if he plays 4 or 5 more seasons, they can probably retool a couple times, get a couple pieces in, and they might be able to make another run for it.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that. Um, we're gonna go ahead and take it back to the East. I know we hopping everywhere, West Conference, Eastern Conference, but we gotta, we trying to hit every team. Um, let's just say the Celtics do win the chip. And Jalen Brown or Porzingis or whoever gets named Finals MVP, is that really like what does that mean for Tatum?
So if Tatum doesn't win the Finals MVP this year, I mean, me personally, I don't think they're gonna win the chip. But in the
Mm,
event that they do, and he doesn't win the MVP, his legacy it won't budge much because he's already a proven player and he's still so young. Like
mm,
he has more time to eventually win a Finals MVP.
MVP.
I mean, Kobe didn't win one till his
Mm.
fourth chip.
Curry just
Steph,
won one.
yeah,
Yeah.
Steph just won one. So I mean, he still has time unless he never wins a chip again.
Hmm. Now I'm kind of with you in a way. I think though, as far as he definitely needs to win one because right now it's just people, man, I ain't gonna lie, it's some Tatum haters out there. And
Yeah.
they are waiting for Tatum to either not make the finals, not win
Yeah.
finals MVP. Like they are like, and I don't know why. I guess people say, his game is boring, or he doesn't have he's corny because he always, he's copying Kobe all the time. Uh I'm a big Tatum fan. I think he definitely needs to win the Finals MVP. Like you said, he has a bit of time because he is so young, but it's not like a guarantee that that you're going to go back to the finals ever.
Yeah.
Some people have never went. Some people, went once and never went back. Some people went once, won, and that was it. So
Yeah.
I think he still has some time, but I'm glad that JB and him, stuck it out through all these years, and it doesn't seem like it's a Shaq and Kobe type situation where they're kind of envious of each other or anything like that. So I'm
Yeah.
glad that
Yeah.
it seems more like a true brotherhood, which is good. Now Wimby, man, down here in Texas, unfortunately, Wimby with a what is it, the deep vein thrombosis?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
the deep vein thrombosis.
thrombosis in the right shoulder. He was probably pretty much a lock for defensive player of the year. Do you have anybody else that you think could come out of the as defensive player of the year?
So for defensive player of the year, I was looking earlier. I got two people who probably have equal opportunity now that Wemby's out. I got Evan Mobley because his defensive PER is 107, which is
Oh,
the lowest it's been, and he's been all defensive team a couple times already in the past
mm,
couple years. But also Dyson Daniels, he averages three
yeah,
steals a game.
yeah. Dyson Daniels, what is he? He's Australian, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
They,
And I
they,
mean,
they call him the Great Barrier Thief.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
that's one
yeah.
that, that's one of the hardest nicknames. That's whoever came up with that, man. They need to
That's
get
a great
paid.
nickname. Yeah, 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 yeah. They need to get
They need to get
extra
paid.
money.
Yeah, I think I think I'm gonna say either Jaren Jack, Jaren Jackson Jr. He's
Mm-hmm.
won it before. Memphis, they haven't been too hot, but I mean their defense hasn't been that great. But he tries his
He's a bright
best.
spot. Yeah,
Yeah, and then Bam is always kind of like he's always a great defender. Bam
yeah,
is truly one of the people in the league I feel that can really guard 1 through 5. You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's
yeah,
not
yeah,
like a Rudy Gobert type situation where if Rudy gets switched on to a smaller guard, you're like, oh my God,
yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? I think if Bam is on a one, you're like, okay, it's not ideal, but
But
he
you
can
think he might be able to
it hold
stop
his
it? Yeah,
own.
yeah,
Same thing, 2 guard, and then 3, 4, 5. It's like, okay, if you want me to guard a three, I'm a little bit bigger than the average three is muscle wise, so I don't have a
yeah.
problem. And then four, it's like, same thing.
I'm a
He's
bit
strong,
faster than
yeah,
the four and
fast
the
and
five, so
five. So it's kind of like, and then he's probably got like a 40-inch vertical or something, 38. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So it's kind of like, yeah, Bam is definitely. I feel like Bam is a bit underrated. Uh, Not necessarily as a player, but I think just because the Wemby is such a great defender, and then Rudy Gobert is such a great
Hmm.
defender that it's kind of like, oh, what about Bam?
Yeah.
Hmm.
And now one thing I will say about like Jared Jack, I don't do we know that he's gonna make the 65 game requirement to
Oh
win?
yeah, yeah,
Because I know the
that's
past
true.
couple of games he's been out on injury, so
Hmm.
I don't know how
Yeah, I
many
don't
games
know.
he's
Yeah, I have to
missed
look and
total,
see. That's
but
a good. Yeah,
will he
that's
make it? I want to know who you have for MVP.
for MVP. I'm gonna go ahead and be honest with you, man. For those of y'all who don't know, I am Canadian. So I got to go with SGA. Now, I
Come
honestly
on,
feel like my
clap
boy
it
was
up, clap
robbed
it
last
up.
year, man.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
because
Talk to him.
I mean, he's the like I said, the youth of the Thunder team. The fact that he's carrying what was a number one seed last year, also, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, they sold in the playoffs, but that's fine. I think I got to go with SGA. He's like they showed the statistic. He's got the most 50-point games. He's got the most 30-point games. He got the most 20-point games. He only has 2 games or something under like 20
Well,
points or
yeah.
something like that, and he's 300 points above the next
The
person
next
in
person,
scoring. So I think that's pretty amazing. Now, as we all know, Jokic just dropped the goddamn 30. What was it?
30 to
31.
1. Yeah, it's
I mean,
31, 21, and
31
20 or something.
is something. Most all time assists, most assists in one game for a center all time, passing Wilt Chamberlain. You know
Yeah,
what?
who's a myth?
Who's a dang unicorn? So
Yeah.
so it's like, dang, that's hard to people. I think Shea, he might have to go ahead and drop another 50 ball or 60 ball
Yeah.
to
Might have to
get
give
him
him
over the top.
a little 75
But
piece or something.
yeah, something, man. But I think I'm rolling with Shea, man.
But I mean, they're number one seed. I mean, that's who I have written
Yeah,
down too. I
yeah.
have Shea. I mean, they're
Hmm.
the number one seed. He's averaging almost 30.
Yeah.
He's so he's gonna win the scoring title for sure.
Yeah, I think it's
But
like
last year
31,
he
yeah,
should have won
something like that.
MVP. So
Yeah, yeah. And the thing about MVP award, it's always kind of hit or miss. Like
yeah,
they get voters fatigue, or maybe your team wasn't, high enough in the standings, or maybe they thought, you didn't drop enough points or whatever. Because I mean, even when Joel Embiid won, Joel Embiid's a hell of a player when healthy, but a lot of people were saying, "Hey, man, I think." Jokic should have
yeah,
won this year. And then same thing when Harden won, a lot of people were like, LeBron maybe could have got it. And then
yeah,
obviously the Nash and the Kobe and that era where
yeah,
Nash wound up winning the two. So I think and I don't think the MVP is ever maybe the best player, but it's just it's based off that season.
yeah. And I
Yeah.
mean, that season, they may have been the best player
Hmm.
because that's why they won the MVP. But when you brought up the voters fatigue and stuff, that's how it was when Joel Embiid won his first one. and he
hmm
shouldn't have won. So then the next season, I feel like they tried to do
They
a makeup.
guilty, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
they feel guilty, so they're
See,
like,
so
okay, Jokic, here
and then,
you
and then,
go.
and then they kind of robbing Shea in a way because it
Yeah,
was like, well, Jokic was really supposed to maybe win the last one, and then this is supposed
yeah.
to be
So we
Shea's
have to
turn.
give it to him, but
Oh,
now it's
yeah.
Shea.
Plays. Now,
Yeah.
could Luca ever win an MVP or?
I mean, with the Mavericks, he probably should have won a
Mm,
couple times already.
mm,
But with the Lakers, as long as Braun's there, I
yeah,
don't think
yeah,
he's gonna
nah.
win MVP. They're gonna
Cause
be like, you have
yeah,
Braun, so
on yeah, Bron's
I hope
almost
you put up these
yeah,
numbers.
I think yeah that too. And the thing about Luca is I'm just go ahead and say it, he don't play any defense, man.
Yeah,
And I'm
he
not
don't.
saying that he has to be prime Scottie Pippen or something, but
I
you
want to see some
know,
hustle.
yeah, yeah,
Slide your feet, dude.
Lee,
I could play the same defense he's playing right
yeah,
now.
yeah,
I mean,
he's
I can't
pretty.
drop 50, but
But the thing is about him, it's like it don't. I don't think it doesn't matter how much like weight he lifts or anything. He's never gonna have that like David Robinson,
oh yeah,
wide
no,
shoulders, brawn type build. He's always gonna be kind of like the dough man. He's gonna
yeah,
be.
yeah, yeah,
He's never gonna be cut up. So I think with
yeah.
him, man, maybe it is just effort. But I mean, them dudes in the NBA, if
I
there's a
mean,
different level of
yeah.
athleticism, and if you don't have that, he's obviously
Then
athletic in his own
yeah,
right, but
if
like
you don't have that type
that
of
is kind of
athleticism that they
athleticism.
have, you're
It's
not gonna
pretty
be a great
hard.
defender. And I mean,
Yeah.
that's okay as long as he shows some effort and some hustle. I feel like his scoring and his offensive ability, his playmaking
hmm
ability, can make up for that. And I
For
mean, he
that.
does get steals every once in a
Yeah.
while. So
He's kind of like a Harden in a way. You know what I
yeah,
mean? It's kind of
yeah.
like the offense is there. Arguably can be the greatest offensive player ever, but he probably won't ever be considered the GOAT just because, in my
Just because of the
eyes, the
defense. Yeah.
defense is so lacking. Now Draymond Green it's always Draymond Green saying something, first of all. Draymond Green just
Every
came out and
time.
said that he thinks Curry should be in the GOAT conversation. He didn't say he was a GOAT, he said conversation. So is that a legitimate argument or
Okay, so I
like
have
it?
this argument all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You can put Curry in the GOAT
GOAT
conversation.
conversation.
I could put Smush Parker in the GOAT
Oh
conversation,
man.
but he's not the GOAT.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
So, I
yeah.
mean, if you put apple pie in the conversation for what's the best cake,
Like
you can put it in there,
in
but it's
there.
not even, it's
Yeah.
not cake, so it's not gonna win. So
Yeah.
why, it's the GOAT conversation has two people in it, and until
Yeah.
I see
Further notice,
otherwise,
yeah.
yeah, until further notice, it's those two people. So there's no point in putting anybody else in.
I agree. I agree. I think Curry definitely can maybe be the real conversation is it who's the best point guard, Magic or Curry. I don't think
Yeah,
Curry is in the GOAT conversation. I think if you ask anybody, I don't think anybody is choosing Curry over Braun, over
or MJ.
Jordan. I
Yeah,
think
no.
Kareem is probably next, you know what I mean, as far as being the
As far
GOAT.
as yeah,
And I think that's one of the main thing is that in order for you to be the GOAT, someone has to consider in order for you to be in the GOAT conversation, somebody has to consider you the GOAT. And I don't think
yeah,
anybody thinks Curry is better
is
than
the
Jordan
goat.
or
Yeah,
Braun.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it's
yeah,
like he can be in there, but it's just where, it's a waste of time, honestly,
yeah, yeah.
It's like, yeah, like
Wasting
you
time
said,
talking
you can put
about is
anybody.
yeah, exactly. I
Yeah.
could put anybody in there, but
Yeah, Magic, but it's like, are you going to choose Magic? Is anybody choosing Magic over Jordan or Braun or Kareem? It's like
yeah,
I don't think maybe 2% of people, but I think the vast majority is maybe Jordan is leading the way a bit, maybe like
yeah.
60% of the votes, and then maybe Braun would have like 30 or so or 35, and then the
And
other
then the other
20,
couple of
fifteen
percent,
percent
yeah,
2%, 8% Kareem, whatever, 4% Matt, and so on and so on. Yeah, I don't think that's a legitimate thing. And it kind of goes back to the defense. He's
yeah.
not a
He's a
great
liability
defender.
on defense. Yeah, yeah,
He's not that tall. I mean, which is he's the greatest. I would say he's the greatest. He's the GOAT of short people of like smaller NBA. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
that's no knock on his game, but I would say Isaiah Thomas was probably the old Isaiah Thomas was probably the greatest. 6'1", 2 guy
yeah,
ever. And then maybe AI had a case to be, and then
yeah.
I think
Oh yeah,
Curry
for sure.
kind of ran away with it. So
Yeah.
I would say
I
Kurt.
mean, Curry's definitely the greatest shooter of all
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
Like,
oh yeah, no doubt.
I
Yeah, yeah.
mean, there's no doubt about that. But I just can't see him being over Jordan or Bron.
But
Like,
yeah,
especially when they have all the defensive aspects and he has none compared
yeah,
to
yeah.
them. So,
That's true. And like yeah, like you said, they're all time and it's not like they're all right defenders. Like Michael Jordan is an all time. great defender. On top of that, he
Yeah,
averaged 35. So
yeah.
it's
So
it's kind of like, man,
it's
it's
kind of
hard
like
to slide Curry in there.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
hard to beat that.
yeah, yeah.
Like, it's
Oh,
hard to even try to
uh,
go up against that.
I will say with Curry conversation, like maybe top 10, or like I said earlier, Magic or him, or maybe like
Yeah,
he's kind of in that like Duncan, Curry, Shaq. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah,
I know some people have Kobe being a GOAT, but I would even throw Kobe in that conversation. Like he's kind of with those 4 or 5 guys, like the tier maybe just slightly under. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah,
So I think he's more in that conversation than LeBron, Jordan, Kareem.
yeah. And
Yeah.
so we did get a little bit off topic, but I do want
Well,
to circle back to what we were talking about disappointments and stuff.
mhm.
Um, what is the most disappointing team in the
Mm.
league for you?
I gotta say, man, it's now it's a known fact, man. I'm a KD hater, okay, and
Okay, okay.
I think KD and them, man, like people always tell me, when I'm out or when I was in school or when I'm at work, man, KD, he's so good, he's greatest offensive scorer ever, man. KD will cook Braun. Braun can't do anything KD can
Yeah.
do. I'm like, well, damn, can he win a playoff series?
Can, can he
Because
lead his team somewhere?
bro, and I think KD is a all time great scorer, all time great basketball player. But it's like he's left since he's last won a chip. Okay, he was on the team when Kawhi won a chip. So Kawhi won a chip, Braun won a chip, Giannis won a chip. Or yeah, it was a Giannis, and then
Yeah,
Curry won a
Giannis
chip,
won.
and then
Curry won
Jokic.
without him.
Yeah, Curry wins again without him, and then Jokic just won a chip. So those are like I'm like man, like, and he wasn't even in the finals or the conference finals.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
no. He
So
got swept in the first round of
first
the
round
playoffs.
twice. He just got
Twice.
swept. He got swept by
I,
Boston, and then he
I
got
mean,
swept.
Jason Tatum
You
won the
know,
chip before he
and
did.
yeah, Tatum. Yeah. So it's kind of like man, and the thing is, he's the one creating the teams.
Yeah,
So
it's
it's
not
not
like
like he's
he's
getting
put
bad
on
luck
it.
and he's winding up on these teams, and it's like, oh, okay, these teams are just, it's like he's the
It's
one
not good
creating
enough.
those.
Yeah, he made it.
So,
He said, "Look, I'm
and
gonna go to Brooklyn. Bring me
Brooklyn,
Kyrie and James Harden."
mm-hmm.
He said,
And
"Okay,
it's
I'll
like
go to Phoenix. Bring
Phoenix,
Bradley Beal."
Bill, yeah, we want and that's what really messed them up, bro. Because Bradley Bill has a no trade clause. Now they don't want him, and they can't get rid of
Yeah,
him. And
there's
Bradley's
nothing
like,
they
why
can
should I
do.
help y'all out? Y'all treat me like crap. Y'all put me
Yeah,
on. I mean, I'm coming off the bench now. Y'all made it obvious y'all trying to get rid of me for Jimmy. It's like I'm not gonna do y'all a favor, and you all a favor to go. Y'all can ship me off to, you know, the nether realm and bring in
yeah, yeah.
and bring in somebody else. You know what I mean? So y'all can win the chip or make a run or anything. So I don't blame Bradley Bill for like
For
for
keeping his
for
keep
yeah
staying where he's at. Like
yeah standing on business. Yeah,
he has a no trade clause for a
but
reason. He doesn't want to leave. He doesn't have to.
you too yeah. And I think that is wild that he even has one, first of all. But
Yeah, because it's only
yeah,
two
yeah,
players. It's
yes,
him and
that's it,
Braun.
LeBron, and one of us been to 10 NBA.
Yeah.
Oh man, what's it saying? Yeah,
Oh
so,
man.
so okay, we got a okay, yeah, so we good. Yeah, and one of us been to 10 NBA finals, so I just think that that yeah, that's weird. And I think another thing with KD is he's like this is a hot take, but he's like a modern day T Mac in a way
Oh, okay.
because
Okay,
without
hold on. I'm a KD hater. I'm a Thunder
uh-huh,
fan.
uh-huh,
This the Nuggets. This the Westbrook Nuggets jersey. I'm a
mm-hmm,
Thunder fan, and I don't really like KD after he left us to go,
mm-hmm,
ship off with the Warriors. But a modern day T Mac, I mean, he just passed 30,000 points. T Mac was injury prone. Now KD might not have the best,
yeah,
GM skills because he's making these teams that ain't
yeah,
going
yeah.
anywhere, and he might not be the best leader, but he's still a prolific scorer. I mean, I guess now that I'm saying it
It's
now that I'm saying it out
uh,
loud, it sounds like he's
some
a
T
modern day T Mac. Yeah,
and he's better than T Mac, but
yeah,
it's just the whole like we have this 6'10", 6'11" score. He's unstoppable, but yet
yeah,
he seems like he can't win anything.
yeah.
And I mean, obviously KD, he's got probably more All NBA teams than T Mac. He's won the chips, but I would say that what he if he never went to Golden State, would he have ever if he
One of the
have would he ever won a chip? And I don't
I
know if he
don't think
have
so. Yeah, I don't think
like if
so.
he would have because he hasn't. And
Yeah,
he's had Kyrie, he's had Harden. Now that whole thing in Brooklyn, it was a pretty much a Brooklyn Zoo. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
literally. And uh, and then I think with the Sun situation, that I mean, it's not been all his fault, but it's kind of like I
It's
can't
like
really see Braun and Booker being together and then them getting swept.
and them getting swept.
Right.
Yeah, no, no,
Yeah,
no.
yeah,
That's
you
not
know what I
gonna happen.
mean? So it's hard for me to
Especially
kind of,
by, a younger Tatum, a young,
yeah, yeah.
like you're supposed to show him why you
Like
are a
KD,
vet.
yeah.
Yeah, you're
Hmm.
KD, You told us,
Hmm.
hey, I know who I am, Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
I mean, and then you got swept.
And then you got Swiss. So it kind of, yeah. And I mean, like I said, KD, he's better than T Mac, but it's kind of, I guess you can maybe say Paul George is the modern day T Mac as well, but,
That's true. That's true. But I
but
mean, KD's
yeah.
right there with them. Like
Hmm. Hmm.
he has more accolades. He has the
So yeah,
MVP. He
he
has the Finals
titles
MVPs.
MVP.
But I feel as if he needed Curry more than Curry needed him.
Oh yeah, no
Because
doubt. Because Curry had
Curry
already
won
won. The
without
fact
him.
that he
Yeah.
already won, Curry. If Curry never, let's face it, if Curry would have just won that one championship, KD has not won a championship,
Yeah. Yeah.
so he
Yeah.
would have technically zero to Curry's
Zero
one.
one.
So
So
it's not
yeah.
like Curry has five, and he before. So
And it's like
he,
KD, he's like, oh, I want to do my own thing. I want to lead my own team.
mhm,
You haven't done anything. Curry won after you left.
mhm.
So
Yeah,
you needed Curry to win that chip. You got
Yep.
Finals
and
MVP,
that's what
but
hurt him the most is that they won after he left.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That hurt him, man,
Because
because
Draymond also always
yeah,
Draymond. Okay, he was like they had us figured out. We never would
yeah.
have won without KD.
KD,
Oh, you won without him right after he left. So
I know, not even, and it wasn't like 10, it wasn't like 10 years down the line they won again. It was like
yeah,
what,
yeah, they had the
like
same team
yeah, it was
basically.
arguably it's a couple years.
It was like 3, 4 years,
Mhm.
something like that. But
But who do you think is the most disappointing? I know you asked me, but who do you have?
oh yeah, so my pick for most disappointing, I had the Mavs. I was thinking about it, but I mean they're injury prone. The GM, he doesn't know what he's
Yeah,
doing.
that's just a
So
disappointing
that's
city
just a
guy thing right
yeah,
now.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's his fault. I'm gonna
yeah.
blame Nico, so I don't
Hmm.
have to talk about the disappointing Mavs. But my backup pick is the Sixers.
Hmm. Oh
I
yeah.
mean, yeah, Joel Embiid just got injured and shut down for the rest of the season. But before that, I mean, what are they doing?
Hmm.
Like they had
Yeah.
expectations. They had top five expectations, deep playoff run expectations. They always seem to fall short with or without Joel Embiid.
Mm. Is it safe to say that the process is dead?
Oh, process over.
Yeah, they end with Ben Simmons, or I think this year, if there was any hope left this year, killed it.
Yeah,
I,
yeah, yeah. I mean,
I,
people still say, "Oh, well, if Joel Embiid can stay healthy, if Joel, Embiid, he, I mean,
yeah,
that's just
it's
him.
been
He's,
10 years,
it's been yeah, just like Kawhi. Like
yeah, yeah.
if Kawhi can stay healthy, yeah,
If
if he stay
he
healthy,
can,
but he doesn't. He never will.
yeah, it's kind of like it's so like well, it's been so much that now it's just what it is. It's just who
Yeah,
he
yeah,
is. It's not like
yeah.
there's a different variation of him that's healthy. It's
No,
now
yeah,
it's
like
it's so
he's
long
just
that
injury
this is
prone.
him.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
like
And
one or two seasons, it's like
mm,
okay,
okay,
maybe he just
maybe
had a couple bad seasons,
uh,
but seven in a row where
no,
he's
like
missing 30, 40 games, like
games. And then he came into the NBA injured, and he missed like 2 seasons before he ever even got to play. So,
yeah,
like you normally if you come in injured, it's not a
you
good sign,
stay injured. It's not
especially
a good
yeah,
sign. Yeah.
especially being a 7 footer. If you were injured in college or whatnot, the game is faster now in the NBA, stronger. It's just not a
Yeah.
good sign. Zion, look at Zion. You know what I mean? So,
Hmm.
I think, man, well, Paul George, man, that's just like, I mean, bro, averages more podcast points than
Yeah.
minutes than points on the
Yeah.
court.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think I don't know if the organization told him personally, like, hey, because he said he was taking a hiatus from the podcast. But I mean, if I'm the organization, dude, we're paying you $50 million a
fifty
year.
million
Success,
dollars.
man, get your ass off
Man,
that
get off the
podcast,
podcast because
yes, man.
you on the
'Cause,
podcast and then you
yeah,
come in the game.
hey, and you get outscored by Bronny. So
Yeah. Come on, bro.
and
Like,
I think yeah,
no shade to Bronny, but
it's not
he's
a good
not.
look. I mean, in
Yeah,
that
it's not a
game,
good look.
Tyrese Maxey and Embiid was out, and he scored 2 points. Paul George did
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
and I think Bronny
So
he scored like whatever, six or
he scored.
something.
I think he scored three. Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
yeah. So I
I
will say
mean,
with Paul George, man, it's unfortunate because I do like Paul George and he is on the decline. And he
yeah.
probably won't wind up winning any kind of. I mean, he never won an MVP. He never made it to the finals. And
Yeah.
I think if he
He
were to
won't.
go to the finals, he'll be like you know, maybe third option.
Yeah.
If that,
He
probably
he
be like a
goes to the
fourth or
Bucks.
fifth. Yeah, yeah, and I think the Bucks would have been good for him. You know, if I don't know if they would have been able to make that possible, but if he went to the Bucks, I think that would have been a good look. He's kind of like
Yeah.
I don't know, yeah, he's like a T Mac as well. I hate comparing everybody to T
Yeah.
Mac, but it's kind of like when you're this such elite scorer and you're 6, 9 plus, and you really don't have any,
Anything to show
monumental
for it.
accolades as far as
Yeah.
like MVP or championship. It's kind of like you kind of get classed into that T Mac category now. But I will say, man, I had an argument with a dude the other day. He was saying that he thinks KD is better than Giannis, but I was kind of fighting back that I don't know. I think Giannis might have surpassed KD all time.
Yeah. Well, all time is kind of hard because it's Giannis hasn't been in the league as long as KD. But if you just look like down the line, I'm taking Giannis as a defender. I'm taking Giannis as a driver,
Hmm.
not
Yeah,
necessarily as a scorer because KD could do anything on the
but
offensive
Giannis
end.
does have seasons of 30 plus, 30
Yeah, and
points. So you can't
so
really
he could
say, oh,
score
he's
with
not
the best of
ace
them.
of them. Yeah.
Yeah, he could score with the best of them, and then Giannis
Mm.
just so much better on the defensive
Defensive
end
end
that I kind of have to give him the edge if I'm talking about better player
player.
all time.
Hmm.
Now, if I'm talking about most accolades, better accolades, I
Yeah.
mean, obviously I'm taking KD, but
Even then, though, I think that KD is an underrated defender, but I think Giannis is the better defender of the two. But the guy was kind of saying to me, he thinks, because Giannis never really learned how to, shoot and all that. But I'm like, man, he averages 30,
yeah,
and it's kind of hard to say he needs a jump shot or he needs a better jump shot when he's had multiple, you know, seasons he averaged, 27 plus, 30, and then he drops
30, yeah,
50 in a game six closeout game, but he can't shoot. It's like, who cares,
yeah.
And I
If he
think
can't shoot the three ball, he can't shoot the three
the three
ball.
ball, yeah. And I think
I
another thing
mean,
is it's closer than people think because KD has one MVP, Giannis has two MVPs.
yeah,
KD has zero Defensive Player of the Years. Giannis has
Giannis
one Defensive
got,
Player of the Year.
yeah,
KD got two chips, Finals MVP. Well, Giannis got. You could argue my case that Giannis chip is more
is
valuable
more valuable. Yeah,
than
KD's
KD's
chip.
chip. So, and I think KD probably has more. I mean, he has more All Star appearances. He has more All NBA teams.
I
Like
mean,
you're
he's been
saying, that's
around
just it's
longer.
been longer, yeah. And I think when it's all said and done, me personally, you can make a case that Giannis is a top three, top two power forward. I think Timmy Jim is unanimously number one, but after that, I think it's kind of up in the air.
Yeah. And
Hmm.
so we got like less than a minute left, man. We're gonna wrap it up here.
Yeah.
Um this
So
this little thing.
So yeah, you kind of cutting out a bit, but yeah. So I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. But if you're still watching, we really appreciate you, tuning in, especially to the first episode. And please, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, uh, follow us on Instagram at Backyard Bullies Pod. We greatly appreciate all the views you know and expect much more coming in the future. We got a lot planned for the 2025 year, me and Pete. So y'all be on the lookout for sure.
Yeah, appreciate y'all for watching. If y'all are still here, don't it's free to like and subscribe.
Yeah, it's free. Yeah. So, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and close it out on that, man. Like I said, we hope to see y'all in the future. Thank you. Thank you for watching.